watching The 7 from WATE 6 on your side.
Good evening, I'm Bo Williams, and welcome to The 7. Let's get a look at the Big 7 stories that are happening right now. And first up on our Big 7 list for you, Knoxville police releasing new information about a shooting Saturday afternoon in North Knoxville. Now, you can see on your screen the two people that they are wanting to question, Ronald Rogers and Carissa Rogers. Police are not saying what connection the two may have with the shooting. Also included in this new information, police released the name of the man found shot Saturday afternoon, Artemio Folks. Now, police say he was a 25-year-old man from Detroit, Michigan. Folks was found outside a Western Heights apartment complex on Reed Street. According to KPD, Folks died at UT Medical Center. We're going to take another look at the two people KPD would like to question. Again, this is Ronald and Carissa Rogers. Anyone with information about where they are now needs to call East Tennessee Valley Crime Stoppers at 865-215-7165, or you can reach out online at easttennesseevalleycrimestoppers.org. Just a reminder, you can remain anonymous, and the right information could net you a cash reward. Our next Big 7 story taking place in the Tri-Cities. A TBI sting aimed at human trafficking. Agents say they have arrested 11 men accused of going after sex with minors. Now, the undercover operation happening around the Bristol area. TBI said it put up ads on websites known to be linked to prostitution and commercial sex. This morning, the Bureau released mugshots of the 11 men arrested, one reportedly from Morristown. The charges include solicitation of a minor and patronizing prostitution of a minor. The suspects were booked into the Sullivan County Jail with bond amounts set at $50,000. We are heading west, and our next Big 7 story for you, the Silicon Valley Bank collapse, one of two banks over the weekend, has been taken over now by the FDIC. The Federal Reserve, U.S. Treasury, and the FDIC acting overnight to guarantee Silicon Bank depositors will have full access to their money up to the FDIC insured $250,000. President Biden is urging Congress and regulators to restore oversight over the nation's financial institutions, declaring today that the American banking system is safe.
Americans can have confidence that the banking system is safe. Your deposits will be there when you need them. Small businesses across the country, the deposit accounts at these banks can breathe easier knowing they'll be able to pay their workers and pay their bills. And their hardworking employees can breathe easier as well.
Investment bank Goldman Sachs has announced it no longer expects the Federal Reserve will raise interest rates next week, given the recent stress on the banking system, adding the path beyond is uncertain. Our next Big 7 story takes us to Middle Tennessee, Rutherford County to be exact, where a nonprofit group there has now taken in more than 50 animals. The animals were taken from a trailer in Laverne over the weekend. Animal Rescue Corps says they removed 48 dogs and 5 cats from a desperate hoarding situation. We're told the animals are suffering from various medical issues as well as malnutrition. All the animals are receiving treatment at the nonprofit's rescue center in Gallatin. If you are looking at purchasing a home soon, you may have noticed the price tag attached being a bit high. That's our next Big 7 story for you. According to the Knoxville Area Association of Realtors, for the first time ever, the median listing price in the Knoxville metro area is higher than the national average. Since the COVID-19 pandemic, the market has blown up with people choosing Knoxville to call their home, making the market pretty competitive. However, over the past year, we are told the market here has slowed. Sales are not as frequent as they were, with the listing prices of homes continuing to trend upward.
From the chamber about trying to retain young professionals and college graduates, and a big part of that is being an affordable place to live with an affordable housing stock. And right now we're seeing that competitive advantage of Knoxville being relatively affordable slowly slip away because we're seeing home prices grow so quickly relative to the national average.
Hanson Sale, who you just heard from, said numbers show there really is no indication of prices slowing down. Well, next on our Big 7 list for you, expect a lot of people to be making their way to Knoxville by the end of the week. The St. Patrick's Day Parade, just one of a number of events that are scheduled. University of Tennessee is also hosting the National Women's Swimming and Diving Championships all this week. On top of that, it was just announced over the weekend that the Lady Vols will be hosting the first 2 rounds of the Women's NCAA Regional Basketball Tournament. As you can imagine, these events bring a lot of tourism to the area. The president of the Greater Knoxville Hospitality Association says from an economic standpoint, hosting these events marks a great start to the year for the city.
Our city is probably a little bit ahead of many cities, and that's if we get consistent leisure travel we feel that the city really sells itself. So that's why we're excited to have people come for these types of events, because we want to showcase our city to individuals, to organizations, of course, to families.
Jordan is also the manager of the downtown Hilton. He tells us they've already had an influx of calls since yesterday's tournament announcement. Our last Big 7 story for you takes us to a testimony involving a hush money probe. Donald Trump's former lawyer testifying today about the then president's alleged involvement in a hush money scheme. Prosecutors wanting to know what, if any, role the former president had in paying off porn actress Stormy Daniels. Cohen's attorney says his client just wants the truth to come out.
This is not revenge, right? What this is about accountability.
Former president could face charges if it's found he reimbursed Cohen for the alleged hush money. Trump calls the investigation a witch hunt and insists he did nothing wrong.